Shane, what page are you on?
58.
Don't tell me what happens. I'm on page 57.
Okay.
A+.
One of the most recognizable entries in a long-running franchise, and a platform fighting game that still draws crowds of thousands to this day. Today, Austin Hargrave, Jeff Fabre, Jared Knabenbauer, and Shane Gill join me, Forrest Lee, as we compare two of the GameCube's greatest titles. It's Super Smash Bros. Melee and The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, and this is Madness.
Welcome back to GameCube Madness. Today, we are talking about two of the most beloved games on this console, perhaps the two frontrunners that could have taken the prize completely. It's The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker versus Super Smash Bros. Melee. This one's
That's gonna be
hard.
Yeah, who wants to start?
Shane?
Link is in both games.
That's true.
That's a wrap. That's a wrap, yeah.
Here, so we had a similar matchup in the N64 bracket. It was Super Smash Bros. Versus The Legend of Zelda. I forget which one.
Me too.
To be honest.
Whatever it is, let's do the opposite so we're not consistent.
Was this the losers bracket?
Yes,
Then it was Majora's Mask.
Yeah, and we kind of concluded that those were both the essence of the N64. One of them was a pure, wholesome, fun multiplayer experience, and the other one was an epic, huge adventure. And this is just that matchup souped up even further.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And both games, essence of the GameCube.
Which definitely has a real meaning that you can write down in words. It's tangible.
This is another hard comparison.
We're all just sitting here like...
It's a hard comparison because it's still multiplayer versus single player. And some of the best examples of both on the same console.
Well, should we start with what we can compare then and talk about the single player of Smash?
Sure.
That's
okay.
probably good.
That's
That's something I did want to talk about.
I think the adventure mode in Super Smash Bros. Melee is the perfect way to do single player in a Smash game.
Yes.
Even above like that mode compared to like say Brawl, like the
Absolutely.
Subspace, you think they did it
I
better
think
in Melee?
I love Subspace Emissary, but I know I'm in the minority for that.
I also liked it a lot.
But just for Melee, adventure mode was great.
Yes.
It also had classic mode for everybody.
And
I still enjoy classic mode.
and event mode.
And event mode.
which they don't have anymore.
But
or they
but
took it
it's
out.
basically,
Well, they
it's
kinda-
basically
Roll of
Spirits
Light is
mode.
event.
Yeah, it pretty much is.
So, like, Smash still had a pretty good single player. Is that compared to Zelda's?
No, it's not like. I mean, obviously not.
Well,
But
its entire focus is single
Yeah.
player. It's hard to compare.
Yeah.
the
something
point is, like,
like
Smash
that.
still had a solid single player component to it compared to, say, a Smash on N64.
Yeah, which
didn't
basically
really.
had nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The reason I like adventure mode so much is it took all of these Nintendo IPs and found a clever, fun way to implement them into the platform fighter mechanic. There's like the F-Zero stage where you're like trying to outrun the cars. There's the Zelda dungeon crawl,
Which
like
was sick.
yeah,
You can Falcon Punch a Goomba.
Yeah.
yeah.
The Mario level that's just like Mario.
Yeah.
And then the first time you find out that you have to end it on like a 2 or something to unlock Luigi, and you're like, oh!
Yeah.
Unlocking the characters was always the most fun thing about the old Smash games to me. I kind of prefer the old school style versus the new one. I just like being like randomly playing like break the targets and all that stuff, which they don't have that in Melee, right?
No.
They do.
They-
Or Melee, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, in
yeah,
Melee
yeah.
they do.
Yeah.
They also had a home run mode.
Yeah, the home run
I
bat
missed those
mode was
I
modes.
also
awesome.
played a lot.
Yeah,
missed those
I did
modes
as
a
well.
lot.
Do they have Race to the Finish?
It was kind of part of
Yeah,
the
they
adventure
do.
mode. Like there's a
Like sections.
Oh, yeah.
you
Yeah.
fight Samus
Yeah.
and then it starts exploding. You have to race to the finish.
But like in a Metroid.
For whatever reason, around the time that Melee came out, we talked about this a little bit on the N64 bracket with Smash, about how part of the fun it wasn't just a fighting game, it's a party fighting game. For whatever reason, when I was young and the game first came out, everyone I knew was like, Final Destination, no items. This was the game that started. And I was kind of like that too. I actually wish that I wasn't like that though. Because looking back on it now, the things that I liked the most about Smash and the N64 was just all the randomness and the crazy stuff. And the fact that it wasn't like, who in your friend group is the best at this game? Which is what I don't like about fighting games. It's just the same person just beating up everybody else because they played a lot more or whatever. But Smash doesn't have that. And as long as you play the correct mode types, I think that really adds a lot. I personally like the party aspect of it more than the fighting aspect.
The idea of like Ganondorf grabbing a Pokeball and like summoning Cyndaquil to attack Princess Peach.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people booted up Melee and just said, Pokeballs only, let's go?
Yeah.
I think we
That's
all
what
did.
a lot of those
Like,
custom modes spawned from that game.
Yeah. I created the Ganondorf challenge.
Yeah.
And it was awesome, and it's still super fun to this day.
I remember playing with my brothers, and we'd always just go, Hyrule Temple, all bombs. Let's go. Young Link only.
I think there is something to be said that the game even had a staying power when you took all of that out. Because it's still, like, we'll see how Ultimate pans out, but it's still it's competitive Smash game.
Yeah, it seems like it's still considered the one that's as far as like actual fighting game fans, they like Melee the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that you have these two extremes and it's equally like playable on both of those extremes. Maybe one of them is way more approachable than the other, but that's rad.
Smash is also an incredibly impressive game for what was more or less a launch title.
They spent like less than a year or
it was
about a
13
year.
months.
13
It was
months?
13
Yeah,
months.
it didn't come out the same day as the GameCube, but it was very shortly after. And that was a game that sold systems.
I bought a GameCube for Smash.
A lot of people did, honestly. I think people brought it to like college campuses and stuff just for Smash. Same within 64 though. That had that kind
was
of thing.
like the one though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did talk about a lot of, or at least a little bit, touched on the like competitive scene in Smash and how it's like an actual decent fighting game. But isn't one of the biggest aspects of it as a fighting game glitch mechanic, or like what is essentially an
wave
exploit?
dashing.
Yeah, wave dashing. Yeah, like that's one of the main mechanics of Smash or of Melee. And it's not even intended. Yeah, in the competitive sense, it's not even. It's basically an exploit. Is that a negative on the game? I'm honestly just asking. Like,
I think that's just
Proposing
kind
as a
of, it's
question.
kind of comparable to speedrunning. And that's a lot of people make that comparison that high level Smash is like a speedrun game. I think it's completely fine.
it does make it less approachable though. But I mean, I guess that's
it's like
that's by its nature, really, is a competitive game. It's like how many people play basketball versus how many people play basketball competitively.
Yeah, I think every fighting game has that problem where
The
Any
wall that you
competitive
have
game.
to
Yeah.
overcome.
that said, none of us are like competitive fighting game experts
No.
by any
Yeah.
means.
No.
And honestly, when we played Smash again recently, it felt really hard to get back into. Like at least at first, just like the controls compared to like the newer game, because we'd been playing a lot of that. I mean, it just felt really different. than-
Ultimate has like 20 years more
Exactly.
development time gone into it and experience.
we haven't talked a lot about Wind Waker though.
Yeah, can we talk about what an anomaly that game is?
okay.
Do you remember when no one liked it?
I do, and I was an OG stan of Wind Waker.
Same.
Yeah. Screw you, haters.
For the people who don't know, before Wind Waker was announced, there was this trailer, like a tech demo for
It was-
Legend of Zelda on the GameCube, and it was like
From
the
Space World.
yeah from Space World, probably 2000, I'm guessing.
Yep.
And it was
A sword fight between Link and Ganon.
yeah, and it was using the Ocarina of Time models. People got so hyped for that, and then they revealed Wind Waker, like a year later, maybe two, and a lot of people were not happy. And
Yeah.
I think those people are stupid.
Yeah.
I definitely thought they were. I don't think they're stupid now because I'm a little more mature in my realization that people have different opinions now. But as a kid, I was like, "Those people are so stupid." I remember I was sitting there almost every day on my dial-up internet connection, watching the trailer of Wind Waker, and I would be able to buffer like 5 seconds at a time. So it would just be like, and I'd sit there like, and I'd sit there for like another 2 minutes, and I'm like, yeah, and then it would pause again. I'm like, all right. I was patient for it though. I was so excited. I've never been more excited for a game than I was for Wind Waker for whatever reason. I think part of it was because it looked so different, and it was this. I always felt like a lot of American media is very like dark and gritty and like more like action based, and I've always appreciated, especially when I was younger, because I didn't see a lot of it when there was games or movies or anything that was very cartoony and just like upfront about it, and with that kind of thing I always thought was really cool. And Wind Waker, just visually alone, like
it really holds up.
And the thing about Wind Waker's art style is they still use it, and like there's like a whole side series, the Phantom Hourglass Spirit Tracks games.
Let's not
for the
talk
longest-
about that.
It's almost like
Those don't help the
longest
argument
time.
for Wind Waker.
Yeah.
Like
that design of Link is
Yeah.
now is just as iconic as
Toon Link in
Other
Smash.
ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's still
Yeah.
around.
He shows up in Four Swords Adventures,
Yeah.
in the DS games. Like that iteration of Link is still like known to a lot of people.
I think what made Wind Waker special though was the world that you're in, and I think it's honestly it might actually be the best world in Zelda.
Maybe it doesn't hold up as much or seem as cool now. Maybe if you're a kid these days, but when the game first came out, the idea that you were just on this big ocean and you could go visit, what was it, like 49 or whatever different islands, and just sail to each one at any time you wanted, except for the beginning of the game. That was such a cool concept to me, and that alone excited me so much. Like, what's on the other side of the horizon? Like, what's going to be on this island?
You see the little dog get bigger as you get close to.
Oh, that was so cool.
From a technical standpoint, the draw distance of that game
is nuts.
Jaw-dropping.
Yeah.
I think that's why that art style is that way. It's so that
I think so, yeah.
Last time we mentioned that Odyssey is very much the true realization of Sunshine's like idea of movement and stuff. I think Breath of the Wild is Wind Waker, like what they wanted to do with that world.
It is kind of cell shaded.
I mean, like that open world.
Wind Waker was definitely limited by the GameCube's hardware. Because, I mean, there's a reason why they didn't have a faster sail. It wasn't because they wanted you to go that slow. It was just because it couldn't load the worlds fast enough. That was why they introduced the fast sail in the HD version. At least I'm pretty sure. Jared looked at me like, maybe not.
No, you're right. That was a big point of contention in Wind Waker when that came out, is that a lot of people didn't like how long it took to sail from place to place, which is why they had the fast sail in the HD version. So that was like one of the big drawbacks. We're like, spend a lot of minutes just going through a lot of nothing, getting to where you're going.
It didn't bother me as much on my first playthrough, but I think when you're going through the game like a second time, that it definitely starts to like show how long it really takes to get to places.
I think the real problem with the sailing was when you get to the point where you have to hunt for the pieces of the treasure on the map.
Oh yeah.
Because then it's just non-stop sailing looking for those fish.
Well, it doesn't really make up for it, but eventually you do unlock a teleport, which I think the fact that it was, I mean, obviously you don't necessarily want to, well, I guess it depends, game design wise. Having limitations and then being able to unlock something later that kind of limits or like makes those limitations like less strenuous, it makes it a really cool bonus to get. When you first get that teleport, you shoot the guy in the tornado and you're able to like teleport to anywhere on the, well, not anywhere, it's specific places on the map.
Just closer to other things.
Yeah, about by the time, at least in your first playthrough, that you're getting a little bored of sailing around is about the point in which you can unlock the teleport.
You were sailing around a lot in that game, but I think they made that world interesting enough. You would just come across cool, weird things, like the ghost ship.
Yeah.
You could just find the ghost ship and be like,
yeah, way before you can do anything with it or know what it is.
You're just suddenly like on the ocean, and then it starts to get dark, and you're fighting a kraken or like whatever the big octo guys.
The big octos, yeah.
I really like the sailing.
Yeah, I did too.
It's fun.
I actually really enjoyed
that music.
Still,
like with the art style, the way the camera panned down, like the seagulls coming by, like just nailed like that sense of adventure.
I
mean, I just enjoyed it as a kid. I was like, like I'm on a boat and I'm going forward. This is cool. And mechanically and structurally, like the way that was designed, like you said about exploring all the different islands you could possibly find, other ghost ships or whatever, that was the closest thing to just be like, I'm gonna go that direction since Zelda 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's the first time it was really
until Breath of the Wild
open.
again.
Yeah. I was also going to mention part of the reason why I didn't mind the sailing was that freaking sailing song. It's so good.
I love the sailing
It's
song.
so good.
I really
the music really sells a lot of what you're doing in that game, just in general.
Dragon Roost Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even just
Dragon Roost
outside
Island
island
is,
music,
one of my
like the first
favorite.
island's music is so good.
I think the Wind Waker has the best music since like the first Zelda.
We're gonna try to argue what has good music though.
I know,
it's
but
going up against Smash.
Smash has like just
That was not fair though.
We mentioned this in the N64
Yeah,
I think I'd still go Wind Waker.
Really?
I actually might still go Wind Waker
I mean,
too.
it's just about the. There's another game on the list that I particularly really like the music, but Wind Waker is probably has the best music. It's just name a dud in the bunch of all the Wind Waker songs. Is there one?
It's a really good mini boss soundtrack. Music as well.
But Smash though, like.
Yeah, Smash just has
not
every
fair. Smash
has the better
single.
soundtrack.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It does.
20 different games, and
Yeah.
some of the best songs, the best remixes from those games.
Yeah,
That
it's
are,
not really a
that
fair
are
comparison,
still
but
used
it
to
is
this day.
Let me put it this way: as a kid, I burned the Smash Brothers soundtrack onto a CD so I could listen to it while mowing the lawn. I didn't do that for Wind Waker.
I put some.
Well, I didn't.
I put some Wind Waker songs on my. What did you call?
MP3 player.
Yeah.
Another thing that Wind Waker did really, really well are the characters.
Yeah.
In my opinion, best iteration of Zelda, best iteration of Ganon.
It's certainly in the top 2 or 3.
They made Ganon like relatable and a person.
Yeah.
And then you stab him in the goddamn face.
Yeah,
you
Which
just,
is
hype as
yeah. Spoilers.
Is this like the only version of Ganon that doesn't turn into a gross giant monster thing?
You have Puppet Ganon before that, but it's not actually him. It's some kind of weird
I think so.
Where
magic
the
puppets.
Twilight Princess Ganon becomes that weird giant gross pig man. Not even pig man, he's
I
just
can't
pig.
think of anything off the top of my head.
Calamity Ganon isn't even a person.
There's some games as well where Ganon just is a pig.
Yeah, the original games.
No, not the Ganondorf.
Yeah.
Human form.
I kind of prefer Ganondorf as an enemy because there's something. I mean, monsters as an enemy. Yeah, okay, well they're monsters. That's why they're bad. There's something about a humanoid enemy where it's like
He's Gerudo?
Dude, I said humanoid.
Yeah.
Where it's just like that guy. What is he up to? Like he must be really like he's using his brain. He's not just like I'm a pig monster. He's like no, he's making plans. There's cutscenes where you don't even see all of his face. You're like and he's like, dude, what is this guy up to? It's really nefarious.
We were talking about the cast of Wind Waker and how good it is, and I agree because like Medley is great.
Medley.
As Austin has
Medley.
pointed out before.
Next topic.
They're all great. Tinkle's great in that game.
Are you trying to say
Beetle.
that's better
Makar.
than Smash?
I was
gonna say,
yeah,
like,
I was
there's
gonna
the
say,
cast of characters
The cast
of
of
Smash.
character-
Can't forget about Makar though. Makar's good too.
Makar, I want a plush Makar.
I have one.
So
Someone gave it to me.
you ain't even a fan if you don't have
Yeah,
a
you know,
plush Makar.
what are you, a simpleton?
That game was so cool with its cast that like Martha and Roy showed up. No idea who those motherfuckers were.
Martha Roy made Fire Emblem a thing in America.
Yeah, it
yeah,
did.
that game
That's
made
a
that
big
franchise.
deal.
Yeah.
I remember I was asleep, and my older brother burst into my room and slammed on the lights at 3 a.m. and just goes, "Jared, who's Marth?" And me, like, half asleep, just went, Fire Emblem. 'Cause I looked it up online. I never played the games or anything.
This
Yeah.
was also the first
Fake
game that
fan.
had Roy in it. Period. It was before his game even came out.
Yeah, 'cause
Oh,
it was,
really?
it was to
Yeah.
promote the Fire Emblem.
See,
game.
even back then, they're using Smash to try to sell their other properties.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It worked.
This was the first game that had Zelda playable.
Well, the
Plus, like,
N64 version
villains.
was.
Oh yeah. Well, no, she wasn't in.
No, we're talking about
N64.
Zelda.
Peach
Oh,
also.
Zelda's
wasn't in
the girl.
N64.
I know.
Got him.
How about this?
Didn't it have like the weakest like echoes though? Like
I was going to bring up, what are some of the weaker sides of Smash?
because it's like its
and-
roster's big.
Yeah, and Smash
But-
Melee had a lot of.
It had a lot of dud characters, I
Clone
think, or
characters.
just clone characters.
Yeah,
in
back,
general.
back then they were clones.
Well, because like the differences
Now-
were just very marginal.
Now they're far different.
Yeah.
And their own
Yeah.
dudes, and they're great. But back then, Fox was painfully similar to Falco. They had different
Yep.
properties again, like Echo.
Just
characters.
yeah, they were
very
slower,
small.
and now like
Mario and Dr. Mario.
yeah.
Yeah, that
Basically
was
the same
Were they
power
literally the
chords.
same in that one, right?
I think
Well,
Dr.
besides,
Mario-
like,
it did slightly more
aesthetically-
damage.
The Smash
and was
fan
slower.
off camera
Okay,
right
okay.
now is making a face, so
Yeah.
I'm assuming not.
The Dr. Mario and Mario were different enough. Again, they're more their own characters now, but
Well, yeah.
back then, like they basically took like the same kind of framework and just put another character model on top of it. Probably because of like how low on development time they had.
13 months.
Yeah, so like a lot of the characters they got were painfully similar, just because they're like, let's throw them in there. Plus, odd as it sounds, Falco on top of Fox just seems unnecessary to me. Like if you're gonna have a representation of Star Fox, Fox is good. I feel like there are a lot of other character options out there.
Give me Peppy.
Right. That's
That's what he meant. That's what he meant.
I think they were probably looking at that cast and they were just like, who's a quick character we can add?
Yeah, again, I think
Yeah.
it's just like we can quickly add another character.
There was
very
some
easily that
weird
way.
clones, and like Ganon was a clone of Captain Falcon.
But that kind of makes sense because they're both.
But Ganon was nothing like Ganon in
As
any
a
of his
character.
previous
Yeah.
iterations.
He didn't use a
At
sword.
all. Remember that part in Wind Waker where he just charges up a punch for like 4 seconds and then socks you in the face?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to start wrapping up. And this sucks because these
There's
games
so many
are
things to talk about.
So good.
Still.
Let's just talk about the bosses.
The bosses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, me? Okay. They're good.
I'm still just sitting here thinking.
From Zelda or Smash Melee? What are you going with
Wind
this?
Waker.
Okay.
Great bosses. All visually interesting.
I can't move on to anything else
They're also
until we clarify. Zelda wasn't in Smash 64?
No.
So I really remember it. I really remember that.
No,
I've been sitting here for like the last 3 minutes, just like.
there were only 12 characters, and it was like Mario,
I thought Zelda was one of them.
Pikachu.
no.
Bowser wasn't there either.
I really feel like I have memories of playing Zelda on that game.
Definitely don't.
All right, well, anyway. The bosses in Wind Waker are pretty good.
I love the like lava worm thing. That's like annoying the dragon. That's so cool.
That was it's a really easy boss fight, but it's definitely interesting. I mean, compare it to some previous Zelda boss fights. He's huge.
Yeah.
He's just massive.
And the final boss fight against Ganon with the water all around you. Like,
It's visually
very cool.
awesome.
Yeah, it really is awesome.
I would say that most of the boss fights in Wind Waker though are pretty easy.
They are easy. Especially the freaking
They're
ghost guy.
cinematic and cool and like a good mix up from like what else is going on in the game though, and I guess like if you're comparing it directly to Smash, there's what Master Hand.
I mean, Master Hand's not hard.
Giga Bowser.
Giga Bowser is
Giga
also in that
Bowser's
one.
sick.
Yeah, that was
Cool
pretty. That
melee.
was really dope to see Giga Bowser. Honestly,
One of the Wind Waker bosses is honestly one of my least favorite bosses in the entire Zelda series. Is that ghost guy, the big ghost?
I forgot about it. I
Sucks.
forgot he even existed,
Oh,
to
yeah,
be honest.
Sucks.
The guy who
You
rolls
knock him
around?
down, and he'll
Yeah,
sit
yeah.
around there
Take him
forever until you finally figure out what to do.
well, I mean, there is actually a hard boss, I guess. Like Puppet Ganon's not easy
Puppet Ganon is
compared to like
hard.
all the
Yeah.
other characters, because you have to be really on point with the aiming and with your
Yeah.
arrows or light arrows and stuff.
It doesn't matter. Every single time I play through Wind Waker, it's probably like 10 times at this point. I get to Puppet Ganon and I'm just like, it makes me feel like I suck really bad. Like, I mean, I never prided myself on being that good at any game in particular, but man, Puppet Ganon is pretty difficult. One of the harder boss fights in Zelda that I can think
So,
of.
if you had to vote for one of these games,
Oh man.
I wouldn't do it. I abstain.
you're gonna have to.
No, I vote Wind Waker. I feel like I'm almost disappointed, especially if Wind Waker doesn't win, because I feel like we didn't do a very good job of like actually comparing them, because we kind of just talked about them each individual.
They're very difficult
It
games
is-
to compare.
It is, yeah. That's why. But
I think this matchup in particular is going to come down to personal preference more than
It
anything,
really is,
which is
yeah.
a reality you have to accept about the show. Sorry.
I mean, I wanted an objectionable, not the
I wanted an objectionable discussion. I want to hit what everyone says.
I mean, when it comes down to it, there are certain brackets and certain things we certain comparisons we make where it's easier to be like, I'm gonna sit around and try to be as objective as possible and listen to everybody's arguments and make a decision. I don't even know what it's gonna be. And I feel like these two, it's like they're so different. It's like, which one do you like? I mean, like, that really is kind of what it comes down to.
And there's
How do you compare
no
these?
wrong answer to that.
Yeah. I vote for Wind Waker though. I mean, I don't think I would have an incredibly hard time voting against Wind Waker against almost any game on this.
Yeah,
Anyone else?
this is so difficult because I think hours-wise, I've probably put more hours into Melee than any other GameCube game, just in general. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that you could just play with your friends, and it was such a good party game. It just persisted throughout the years. That being said, I think as like a game, like experience-wise, I think I have to go with Wind Waker.
Whew, I thought you were gonna say Smash.
I just that might actually be my favorite Zelda game just ever. I think it holds up
not an
insanely
unpopular
well.
opinion.
I actually don't think Melee holds up as well as Wind Waker in some cases. And
Going back to it is a little jarring.
it is especially after playing like Ultimate and stuff. And that's, I mean, I know you're not supposed to talk about the new games and stuff like that as much, but like comparing it to like the newer Smash games and just like the controls and like how the characters are more fleshed out. There's like characters in Melee that don't make any sense. Like Bowser is just a bad character in that game. He's
Yeah.
not good at all. And
I think that's a fair point. Like, we've all played Ultimate.
Pichu as well in that game.
We've all played Ultimate, and we can't unplay it, so
Yeah.
we have to make that comparison.
I think that it is probably the best way I can justify my own vote is that comparison, basically. Going from Breath of the Wild to Wind Waker is a much less jarring experience than going from Ultimate to Melee.
Jared?
That's all I can really say.
Jared?
Shane?
I'm trying just to like compare them in my mind.
It's
and
so hard.
And I want to give both games like a fair shout. But when it comes down to it, I think Wind Waker is maybe the best Zelda game. And I don't think Smash is the best Smash game.
Only if you're really a hardcore.
It's one of the most loved.
If you had
Smash
two
games,
CRTs in front of you right now,
I would probably go Wind Waker. I think Wind Waker is basically a home run. The gameplay's great. Like even just like little changes they made, like being able to pick up an enemy's sword and use that in combat. All the little
C-stick for the camera, which
Yeah.
we didn't talk about at all.
By the way,
it's a huge...
it's just a lot of tiny, great little moments in a game. Beautiful art style, beautiful music.
almost a timeless game.
Great villain.
is.
Great side characters. My vote's Wind Waker.
I would say
This is one of the hardest ones we've done.
I love Wind Waker. That was always one of my favorite Zelda games. But there's no point in playing Smash Melee that I would not have fun with it. There are moments in Wind Waker that are not fun. So
That's
because of that, I would vote Smash Melee.
I think this is comparing like a 98 out of 100 to a 99 out of 100.
Yeah,
and
it's
I
so
don't know
hard.
which game is which is hard for me. Like I said, I think this one comes down to personal preference, and like it no longer matters my vote. I think I'd also have to go with Smash Melee. Just like it.
It's good.
These games are amazing. Both
Yeah, they're
these
both
games are
amazing.
Yeah.
amazing.
If we could end the back bracket with both games, like giving a handshake and a single nod and just walking away, that would be great.
Yeah, this could have been a finals.
It could have,
Yeah.
it really
like-
could have.
Yeah.
It's funny because normally the ones that are really hard involve like at least one person on each side very strongly arguing against and for one or the other. This one's just like everyone's like not even mad. Like I don't know. It's
These
like-
are both like the must-haves of the GameCube.
Yeah.
Like you just have to have both these games.
Yeah, I mean, if someone recommend, hey, what game should I get for GameCube? I don't know, Wind Waker, Smash.
Yeah.
But less so Smash because you could just play the new one, I guess. Wind Waker's a timeless
And-
classic.
and
Basically, Smash sucks. Melee is not even that good of a game when you think about it.
Whoa. I feel like
It was a joke.
there are two types of people who play Smash, and it's the people who play Melee and the people who play the newest one.
Yeah, that's true.
So, like, that speaks to Melee's staying power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like if I'm gonna play Wind Waker, I'm just gonna play the HD version and not the GameCube original. Unless I
Which
really
we
want to
should.
play with the Tingle Tuner.
Who do you think should have won this round of madness? Let us know down below. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe because we have new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. Also, don't forget to check out episode 1 where we compare Super Mario Sunshine and Sonic Adventure 2 if you missed it.